Hello, my name is Allegra Garcia, and this video is all about my aunt Beatrice Dominguez, who is Rudolph Valentino's tango partner in the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Today I'm going to take you back in time. By that I mean when dinosaurs and cavemen once roamed. You see, in 1920, my aunt Beatrice posed for a photograph showcasing how both art and science merged to create this illusion of prehistoric past. The newspaper article that I'm quoting from describes how the experiment was conducted with Beatrice being shot in Los Angeles, but also using Zion National Park as its backdrop. This was cutting-edge technology at the time. And I'll also show some never-before-seen photos. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring the bell for all future videos. Enjoy! The year is 1920, in a studio somewhere in downtown Los Angeles. Over the years, many famous faces have worn a loincloth. The evolution of man has been depicted both on screen and in print for over a century. From B-movies to cartoons, decade after decade, audiences both young and old alike have enjoyed them. My aunt Beatrice Dominguez was also fortunate to be included in this trend. In 1940, actress Carol Landis played in Hal Roach's 1 Million BC. Probably the most famous was the remake produced by Hammer Films, and it featured the beautiful Raquel Welch wearing that famous animal skin bikini. But wait, let's go back a bit and take a look at its predecessors. In 1912, D.W. Griffith gave us Man's Genesis. And later, he followed it up with Brute Force. The popularity of Griffith's efforts inspired Charlie Chaplin to spoof them in 1914's His Prehistoric Past. In 1923, Buster Keaton starred in Three Ages. Back then, photographers and portraiture played an important part in advertising for a picture. In a previous video, I spoke of famed portraitist Jack Frulich. Jack was handpicked by Carl Laemmle to work for Universal. Prior to accepting Carl's offer, Jack was employed in New York for pioneering news photo agency Underwood & Underwood. Other famous photos produced by Underwood & Underwood. Another person employed at Underwood & Underwood was photographer Air Powell. Air would later become known and hired to help transform Los Angeles into a household name. But in November of 1919, the gates to Zion Park closed for the season, when Zion officially transformed from monument to national park status. Inspired by the new designation, the Union Pacific Railroad began planning to promote Zion when it reopened to tourists later in 1920. Air was also the photographer and former press agent for the Union Pacific Railroad. Air took several photos of my Aunt Beatrice during her career. It would be two photographs in particular that would run in newspapers across the United States. The newly opened Zion National Park would become the backdrops of these photos, and they were taken by Air Powell, and they were published by Underwood & Underwood. Advertising the return of the cave girl, showing how art, science, and beauty produced an illusion of prehistoric past. But the article states when originally looking for a model, a woman wasn't intended for the role. Model after model was rejected. No one was found who could get it until Miss Dominguez was induced to try. Not only did they not have to pick a woman, but they chose to pick a woman of Hispanic descent. Beatrice Dominguez. Yes, she changed her name from Beatrice to the Americanized Beatrice, but the Dominguez was front and center. A problem that was realized when trying to construct the photo was that the experiment could not be conducted outside. The wind and slightly moving vegetation and birds were felt the slightest distraction would ruin the photo's success. Because of this, the process was devised which would allow Beatrice and the background to be taken separately. A studio room in Los Angeles was hung in soft dark green, with nothing left to attract the eye. Even the camera was obscured in deep shadow. The background showing the gorge and great white mountain of Zion Canyon exposed in the emulsion of the photograph plate. In the laboratory, the two white flesh tones were developed down to the dark of the savage's pigment, and in a delicate operation made possible by the latest development of photographic science. The figure and its surroundings were fused into the picture. In the world of photography and cinema throughout the years, it's amazing to time travel and see how technology has advanced, yet at the same time kept much of the integrity of the early pioneers. With CGI and AI here, it'll be interesting to see what the next 100 years will look like. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.